Hi, and welcome to Happy House Yoga. I'm so glad you're here. If you happen to have a tennis ball and an essential oil, one of your favorites, go ahead, grab those, put your mat down, and I'll meet you on the mat. The first thing that we're going to do is open the bubbling spring that's on the bottom of our foot. And I'm doing this with the tennis ball. I'm just rolling my foot over the tennis ball. If you don't have a tennis ball, you can go ahead and just open the bubbling spring with your foot, rolling your big toe from big toe to little toe, rolling your foot. In ancient China, they believed that energy would exit and enter through the bottom of the foot. So before we even start our practice, we want to make sure that we can have energy exit that's old and stale and energy that's fresh come in. So again, if you have the tennis ball, roll it. If you don't have a tennis ball, just roll each foot to make sure that we've got an entrance and an exit. And then I'm putting my ball someplace where I don't trip on it, picking up my essential oil, putting a drop or two of the oil into the palm of my hand. I happen to pick Breathe because I like it. Rubbing your hands together, connecting both sides of the body and brain, right, left side, and coming into the present moment. Just cupping your hands over your nose, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your nose. And one more time, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, coming into the present moment. And then let's go ahead and start our happy bouncing. So we bounce, bending knees, and just kind of shaking your body, wiggling your shoulders, wiggling your hips, just absolutely enjoying this. I like to call it the washing machine because you're washing all of your insides. You're getting any old, stuck, negative energy to flow out through your body. You're just letting new, fresh energy, new cells get activated. Bring your arms out, shaking your fingers, shaking your wrists. Bring them up above your head and smiling. You can even laugh if that's what it feels like because it looks kind of silly. But just enjoy the shaking, wiggling, stirring it up. Imagine that you're just creating this fantastic health smoothie on the inside. And then coming into stillness. Breathing in, breathing out. With your palms open about heart height, just see if you can feel the energy coming into the palms of your hand. This is where healing energy enters. Your palms are connected directly to your heart meridian. So it's not only healing your hands, it's healing your heart. Once you feel this little tiny bit of tingling, imagine that you're going to put it up above your head and you're going to see if you can find the energy ball. So opening and closing your hands, but not quite touching. You may get to the point where you feel a tiny little bit of resistance between them. That's the energy ball. Imagine that it's filled with sparkling energy. Maybe it's white, maybe it's golden, maybe it's a rainbow of colors. It's just healing, cleansing energy. And we're going to drop it through the crown of our head, letting it completely rinse everything that we shook up through the body, all the way down through the bottom of your feet, scooping up fresh Mother Earth energy, bringing it up, mixing the two, mixing cosmic energy and Mother Earth energy, yin, yang, positive and negative, and one more beautiful big energy ball. Let it drop its sparkling light clear through your body. Just feel it cleansing all the inside. We can't always wash our inside, so it's like we've taken an energy shower, picking up some fresh Mother Earth energy, holding it in front of our heart as if it's our loving Mother Earth energy. See if you can feel your heartbeat. It's so nice to know that we don't have to remember to tell our heart to beat. It's one of the things I'm constantly grateful for. And now that we've got this energy in front of our body, we're going to do our head to toe healing. So one hand goes up toward the head, the other toward the toes. And as they change places in almost an elliptical pattern, we just go ahead and pull this beautiful column of sparkling light energy through our whole body. Now, energy is a very intelligent thing. It knows exactly where it needs to go to heal something. Sometimes you may feel a little tingling down a leg or down an arm. Sometimes you'll feel nothing. It doesn't matter. Energy knows where it has to go and what it's doing. And then we ground this at the heart and connect heaven and earth. So reaching way up and pushing way down into this first big, beautiful body stretch, crossing meridians from the right to the left, grounding at the heart on the other side. Big, long, beautiful stretch, reaching way up and pushing way down. Grounding at the heart. This time, look down at the hand that's pushing toward Mother Earth. Feel the energy rising up to meet your hand. Grounding, and the same thing on the other side, looking down, giving your neck a tiny stretch. Feeling the energy rise up. Grounding at the heart as we do one more pushing way up. See if you can touch the clouds. And way down on the other side, connecting heaven and earth. And the last one, looking way up, giving that neck a tiny stretch, connecting heaven and earth. And coming to the heart, into our gratitude bow. And when we bow in gratitude, we end up looking at our feet. So I want you to think of something that you're super grateful for. It can be something very simple, very little, or it can be something huge. Whatever just comes to mind. One more bow, looking at your feet. One more gratitude. And then we bow to each other. I bow to you, and I'm so grateful that you're here and willing to play with moving your body. Just remember, any movement is healing. So let's go ahead and bring our arms straight out in front, clasp our hands, push them out, push them way up above, and come into our first nice half moon as our body stretches over to one side. Whether you do right side or left side first doesn't make any difference. And then breathing in, reaching way up, lengthening a little bit, and then breathing out as you stretch down to the other side. Nice, big, open side body stretch. And then grasping one arm with the palm of your hand, pulling that up, lengthening that arm as you bend over. It's almost like you're growing it an inch when you do that. On this side, switching hands, grabbing the wrist, pulling it up as if you're lengthening it, and then dropping it down on the other side. Very nice. And then coming up, we separate the hands, and as we bend over, one hand drops. And as it drops, you can just feel the release. Oftentimes, You can get a little deeper stretch this way. Coming back up, reaching really tall, and dropping on the other side. And bringing it up with the breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, holding a moment, lengthening, and breathing out. And one more time. Breathing in, stretching, breathing out. Coming up, breathing in, and breathing out. Beautiful. And now we're going to reach around behind our body, clasping the hands here. And you're going to pull your shoulders back, open up your chest, and you're going to do just a tiny back bend as you're pulling your arms out. Your head is tilting forward, your shoulders are back, and your chest is opening to the sky. And you stretch just as much as comfortable. If you feel any pain, modify it or release the stretch. Stretching one more time, breathing in, pulling those arms back, and breathing out, releasing. Kind of shake them a little bit. And we're going to do this one more time. This time as we pull our arms up, our knees will bend, and the higher the arm goes up, you'll end up just sinking down into a forward fold. And how high you go on this fold is up to you. Listen to your body. It may just go up a little bit, maybe a little more, maybe it'll go higher. And each time you do it, just check and see. Have you gotten any higher? If you feel pain, remember, stop immediately and modify the pose. And now imagine someone's pulling you back up with your arms, and you're coming back to standing. Shake those arms out again. And one more time. As we pull up, we drop down. Holding it for a moment, breathing in, breathing out. And when you feel that's enough, this time we're just going to drop our arms and let them swing. So here they are, just down here swinging. And what we're going to do is we're going to start our low hand padding. We start down at the ankle and we come up inside, outside, all around the leg. We're creating enough of a vibration to clear through the fascia, through the tendons, ligaments, into the muscles, deep, 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 all the way into the bone marrow. So we're coming up, down, inside, outside. You can use your little fist. You can use a flat hand or a cupped hand. And coming up to the hips, around to the back side where you get the tailbone. You can tap it, massage it. And if you can come a little higher to the kidneys, that's wonderful. And coming around to the abdomen. This is your digestive system. Lower dantian in China is what they call it. We have an upper, middle, and lower dantian. And this, if it's upset or you have it irritated, you can just gently rub it, smooth it. If it needs some activity, maybe it's a little sluggish, you can just be a little bit more aggressive with your padding. And then coming up the waist, we're going to go under the arm, making sure we get the lymph glands under there, coming all the way down the arm, up the other arm, inside, outside, all around, coming back down. Now, low hand padding was done in ancient China to keep you well. In ancient China, doctors got paid when you were well. When you were sick, they didn't get paid. So it was in their very best interest to keep you well. So that's where low hand patting originated some 5,000 years ago. And we still do it today because there's absolute definite research that this does help energize your body and clear old stuck energy. Up to the collarbones, in the center of your chest is the thymus. Make a little noise if you want. And around to your shoulders, kind of massaging, rubbing, pinching, squeezing, whatever it needs, a little bit on your neck. And there's a hollow spot right at the base of your neck where your skull kind of connects. There's a dent. If you can massage that gently, energy often gets stuck there. So just gently massage and then pull as if you're lengthening your spinal column, pulling, 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 and then release it. Anything that's stuck, let it go. And tapping the crown of your head, the sides of your head, all the way down the throat, into the back, and just massaging anything that didn't get activated. And now let's brush off all of that energy that we stirred up and come into stillness and take a quick body scan. See what you feel like right now. You may feel different than when you started. Maybe you feel exactly the same way. Anytime you feel like you need to take a pause or take a rest, this is your resting pose. It's called mountain pose. And all you need to do here is just recenter and breathe. We're going to do a little opening spinal breathing here. So we're going to hold our hands tight, crisscrossed in front of ourselves. And then we're going to open big, 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 reaching way back. So breathing in, contracting, almost like you're hugging yourself, and breathing out, really big opening, filling your body, filling your chest with breath. One more. Reaching in, almost like you're hugging yourself, and breathing out as you open, 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 way up. And then coming into stillness with that breath. And here we're going to go ahead and play a little bit with our balance. And the first thing that I like to do is slow down the walk so much that you can feel when the weight shifts from one side to the other. So as you know, when you take a step, you just walk like normal. No problem. We're so used to walking. But what I want you to do now is concentrate on each motion. So first you're going to gently lift one foot to the toe. And then in order to take a step, you shift all the weight to the other leg and you actually then pick it up. So you're standing on one leg and then you place it down. And then as you pick up the other leg, you transfer the weight to the leg that's in front, pick up the other one, and reach it forward. What you'll find is when you do this, it's one of the hardest things you can do because we don't pay any attention to when our weight shifts. So now I want you to imagine that you've got either water, bucket of water, a bucket of sand, and you're going to pour it from one leg to the other. And as you pour it completely in, this leg is full, other leg is empty, and you can pick it up. Putting it down, shifting the weight, filling the other leg so it's solid, you can pick up this leg. One of the best practices you can do is try standing on one leg. See where your balance is. Is it here? Is it tippy? Can you do it? If that's dangerous, find a wall to hold on to as you practice standing on one leg. Or you can hold on to a chair. But you can tie an imaginary string, and sometimes that helps. Or you can just Try standing one leg at a time. See how long you can stand. See where your balance is. Is it better with your arms up? Is it better with your arms out? Where's your balance? And then if you feel really brave, go ahead and kick and play. Balance forward, balance backward, kicking forward, kicking backward, playing. You can fly, you can dance, whatever it is. And then we can lift one leg at a time, like we're marching. And then we can give our brain a little exercise and crisscross. Opposite hand, opposite leg. Very nice. And then into stillness again. Taking a breath, centering, grounding. So if your balance feels wonderful, you can do it on one leg. If it feels a little tippy, go ahead and do what we call kickstand. So put the heel next to your ankle. One leg is solid and full, other leg is empty, but you're just giving it a little bit of stability. Don't want that tree to blow over. And once you feel grounded, centered, we'll grow the tree. And reaching way up, opening the branches, gathering the light, and bringing it down with the breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. To the other side, fill the leg, empty the other leg, check it. If it's good, you can do your tree this way. If it's tippy, kickstand it. Grounding, smiling, growing the tree, reaching the branches way up, opening to gather the light, bringing it in and bringing it down. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Your trees look wonderful. And we'll do another balancing pose, and it's called the eagle. And again, if your balance is great, you can do a one-legged eagle, just holding the leg up. If it feels tricky, crisscross the leg and stay grounded, or you can come up on your tippy toes. Arms come out in front, and they either meet together, or if you can, they crisscross at the elbows and they wrap into a traditional eagle as you sit down on the top of a branch, way near the treetops. And while you're sitting way up high, go ahead and look around. You can maybe see another eagle. Maybe there's even a mommy sitting in her nest. Whatever you see, enjoy the view. And when it feels like you've sat long enough and you're ready to fly, go ahead and release these big, beautiful wings and go ahead and soar through the sky. If you can feel your body just moving as if you really could fly. It's moving so slowly and beautifully. Feel what it feels like to go through and above the clouds. And then coming into stillness as we put the other eagle on the other side in. Maybe one-legged eagle. Maybe you need to kickstand it, or you can crisscross it. And go ahead, arms together. If they're crisscrossing, the opposite arm crosses just like the opposite leg did, and you sit down in the treetop. Beautiful eagles. And remember, when you're this high, your perspective changes. So if you happen to have a big problem and you're looking at it from way up on the tippy top of the tree, it looks way smaller. Sometimes just a change in perspective can make something so much simpler. Again, anytime you're ready, release those big wings and fly about. See if you can feel the wind beneath your wings, just so beautifully moving and flying. And then into stillness. Here we're going to put our hands in front of us and we're going to swirl them as if there's a tabletop in front of you and there's a thin film of water and your hands are just sliding over this so easily. Sometimes when you do this, you can begin to feel the energy as if it's coming up to meet your hands. And when you feel this energy, we're going to go ahead, we're going to step out, we're going to push it down as if it's water and it's going deep into the ocean. And then because the ocean moves, the wave will come up and it will crest. And as we push back and down as it rolls toward the shore, it crests the other side, creating this big, beautiful wave. See if you can feel your body become part of the ocean, just moving beautifully. It's like the water in your body is now part of the ocean and you're just feeling the wave. And then we'll switch to cloud hands. So one hand comes up and floats across the body, shifting the weight. Other hand, floating across, shifting the weight. Beautiful movements. And then let's take the cloud up higher and higher and higher. Very nice. And as the clouds darken, we can feel the lightning, the thunder. The rain comes down. Cooling, refreshing rain, feeding the earth, plants, the grass, trees, and just clearing the energy as it cleanses everything. Feeling rain. And then we part the clouds, pushing them way out and away, coming up, parting the clouds as we let the sun peek through. And you know, when we have sun and rain at the same time, we get a big, beautiful rainbow. Now, it could even be a double rainbow. A rainbow is all the colors of chakra. So imagine your chakras are also rebalancing and reconnecting as you feel this gorgeous rainbow. And then coming back into stillness. Quick body scan, see what your body feels like. And we'll go ahead and open these feet a little bit, bending the knee, hands on the knee, and we're going to take a shoulder toward the knee as we get a little bit of a twist. So bending shoulder to knee, coming up, shoulder to knee on the other side, shoulder to knee. Just feel the twist in your body. And one more time. And then coming into stillness as our arms go up. And we're going to twist at the waist. So twisting, taking your head, looking over your shoulder that's going toward the back. Knees are still bent. Twisting. And one more time. twisting, coming to center, and twisting. And then as you straighten up, we'll go ahead and we'll come into our easy triangle. So feet are still out, arms are straight out. And imagine that you're a teapot. You're just going to tip over. So as we shift our weight, our body tips. This hand that's straight up, the palm is going to turn toward this hand, and then you can reach it over. Beautiful. Very nice. And then coming back up with this hand and straight out again as we're going to tip the triangle to the other side. So reaching out, tipping it down, and the hand that's up at the top will turn so that you can reach across your body. And breathing in and breathing out. Coming back up. One more time. As we tip the triangle, arm is straight up, and then it reaches across. Breathing in, coming back up, arms out, and tipping straight, and then the arm bends over. Very nice. Coming back up, as we're just going to drop our hands, and we're in our wide-legged forward fold. Here we're going to go ahead and figure eight, these hanging arms. A circle on one side, a circle on the other side, and we're going to figure eight all the way up. So here you're getting your hips involved, your hands involved, you're coming all the way up over your head, big figure eight, and swirling down. And here, I want you just to isolate your hips and see if you can do a figure eight. If that's difficult, go ahead and just do hips to one side, circle, and then hips to the other side, circle. And then try again. See if you can do a circle and a figure eight and get your hands going so it almost looks like you're dancing. You're just moving figure eights with your hands and your hips, loosening those big old hip joints. And then into stillness. And get ready. We're going to come down to our mat. And I'm going to come down with a down dog. If it's difficult for you, we're going to end up on hands and knees. So if it's easier just to go directly hands and knees, go for it. Otherwise, I'm going to take my hands, walk them down my legs, walk them down the mat, and I'm into a nice down dog. So here, you can walk your dog in a heel toe, and you can push back, you can push forward, and maybe a little more walking, whatever feels good. Just do this big old nice dog. And when you're ready, bring your knees to the mat, and you're into what we call tabletop. And here we're going to do some cat and cow. So you're arching your back way up like the kitty cat's gonna hiss and meow. And then you're sinking way down as if you're a cow that's full of milk. So arching and sinking. When you arch, your chin goes down, and when you're sinking, your chin comes up. So what you're doing here is you're actually massaging your spinal column, creating space between the vertebrae. And you can also push back, and you can push forward, and you can wiggle your tail. Now, if child's pose is calling you, you can do this anytime. You just relax Come all the way down and you're into child's pose. And take a few minutes here if that feels good. If not, you can continue either push forward toward an up dog or a cobra. You can push back. You can wiggle shoulders, drop up and down, another cat and cow. Just kind of do what feels good here. And then into stillness as we do another balancing pose. And it's a two-legged table. So one arm goes out, opposite leg goes out, and you're balancing on one knee and one hand. And imagine someone's pulling those fingers and pulling those toes into this nice, long cross-body balancing. Very good. And on the other side, same thing, straight leg, straight arm opposite, right leg, left arm, or the other way around. Just nice and tall. Imagine someone's pulling, pulling, pulling. Big, long crossbody. And do it one more time. And here, if you want to make it more active or a little more difficult, you can do elbow to knee. Not necessary, but you can try it. Or you can just hold the pose. Or you could be in child's pose. So again, if you do the active pose, you want to do it on both sides, elbow to knee, or you're just holding the pose and breathing. And then into stillness a moment. If you're in child's pose, you can come out, and we're going to move slowly and gently into seated position. And when we get down to the mat and we're sitting, it's always a great feeling. It's like you're almost there. We have a few more poses to do. And then we get to the best part of yoga, which is savasana, or the resting pose. If your tennis ball is handy, I want you to go ahead and grab it. And you're going to roll the ball on the bottom of your feet. You can put it between your feet and roll it together. You can roll it on one foot at a time. You can, if you don't have a tennis ball, you can go ahead and use your fist and massage the bottom of it. And the top. Roll the ball across the top. Oftentimes, the top of the foot doesn't get any attention since we stand and walk on the bottom. So you want to make sure that you give the top of the feet attention, especially the spots between the toes, between the bones and the flesh, all the gates. And any energy sometimes gets stuck there. You just want to kind of roll the ball over the top of the foot, both feet, on the bottom of the foot, both feet. It feels a little different when you're sitting down than when you're standing. So just experiment with the feet a little bit. And there's one spot that's very important. On the inside, find your ankle bone. And then about 2 fingers above the ankle bone, either a little bit behind it or in front of it, do some massaging and see if you can find what we call the acupressure point. And you'll find it when it goes, ouch. You'll know when you found it. It's a spleen point, and often energy gets stuck in it. So you just want to gently massage it. Once you find it, just kind of gently go, oh, I got it. And then switch to the other side. Same, couple fingers above the bone on the inside. Just kind of either up a little higher, down a little lower, forward or back. And when you find it, you'll know. You just gently want to massage that. You're trying to get energy that's stuck. loosened up so that it flows freely. And while you're at it, you can come up the inside of your leg as well. Let's just bounce our legs a little bit here. Put back into prayer pose. And your hands can go on the knee or on the ankles. And we do some butterflies. And the butterflies are done to open hip joints. So what you're doing is you're just trying to release old energy between the hip joints that oftentimes get stuck. This is something we don't do very often, so your body likes it. And then picking up one leg, cradling it in your arm, and rocking it as if we call rock the baby. So you're just opening a single hip joint this time. And you can get a little bit more targeted here because you're just doing one at a time. And how far you take this is up to your body. You need to listen to what it says you can do. Maybe you can do it higher up, wider open, or maybe that's enough. And switching to the other side, again, picking it up, cradling it, and rocking it. What this does is it opens space in that great big femur bone. And that's the one sometimes when people have hip replacements, it's because the socket isn't working real well. So we'd like to keep it lubricated. Think of yourself as the Tin Man and you're oiling the joints. And then releasing as we kind of bounce both legs a little bit here. Just releasing anything that's stuck. And we're going to go ahead and do a forward fold, just easy, gentle, reaching forward and breathing. Breathing in, lifting a little bit, and breathing out, sinking a little deeper. So breathing in and breathing out. Nice, long forward fold. And the forward fold moves into the boat, so we can pick up one leg at a time, or you can pick them both up together. You can hold them until you get stability and balance. You're balancing on your hips. When you feel that balance, you can go ahead, release your arms. They can come forward. They can come out to the side. Your legs can come up and straighten out, or they can stay bent. You can pull back. You can paddle the boat. You can row the boat on each side, or you can hold the boat. And when your body says that's enough, just straighten those legs and come back to that gentle forward fold. Breathing in and breathing out. And one more time, as you come up into the boat, or not, up to you. And if you feel balanced, go ahead and release into your boat. And how long you stay here, up to you. And go ahead when your body says that's enough, come back into that nice, easy forward fold. Breathing in and breathing out. And now we're going to gently roll down on our back so that we're flat back. So we're gently rolling down and you're flat on your mat. This is where you can let out a big sigh. Ah. Another one, deep breath in and sigh it out. Ah. What you'll notice is that we've done a lot of stretching and moving, and your body is kind of like a rubber band. It's been stretched, and now it's going to come back, and you can almost feel things just kind of sink and melt back into the places that they were, filled with fresh, new energy. So I want you to go ahead and hug your knees, lift up your head, and roll back down. And one more time, pulling your knees towards your head, towards your nose, towards your forehead. And then I want you to gently see if you can rotate your hips a little, making a circle so that your lower back and your tailbone is getting a bit of a massage here. Straighten your legs, bring your arms straight up, legs up, and we're going to shake. The same kind of happy bouncing shaking we did at the beginning. And what this does is it reverses the blood flow. So anytime your hands, arms, feet are above your heart, you're reversing blood flow. So here I want you to go ahead, heel, toe, ankle circles to the right, to the left, open your toes, squeeze your toes, rotate your wrists, open the fingers, close the fingers, whatever it takes, just a little bit of wiggling, a little bit of energy, just feeling everything alive and filled with fresh energy. And here, if you like to do a shoulder stand, a plow pose or anything, this would be the place to do it. And if just holding your legs up feels great, stay there. If you're close enough to a wall, you can put your legs up on a wall and just rest for a moment. Or you can put your hands up, your legs up, and as one goes down, the opposite's going to go down. So one leg down, one arm down, and then switching arm, other leg. And you're not quite touching your leg to the ground. It's a really good core exercise. It's also good for right, left sides of your body, rebalancing in your brain. And back into hugging your knees. And another little tailbone roll. And we'll do our sciatic stretch. So placing your feet flat on the mat, your knees are bent. You're going to pick up one leg, put the ankle on the knee, reach through the leg to the leg that's on the mat, picking it up, pulling it toward you. You will feel the sciatic stretch. The sciatic nerve starts at your heel and goes all the way up to your buttocks. So breathing in and breathing out as you gently pull this leg toward you. Now, how much you pull it, how long you hold it, totally up to you. Just be mindful. If you feel pain, just modify the pose. Switching legs, other ankle to knee, reaching through, pulling that leg toward you, and you'll feel the stretch all the way down. And when it feels like that's enough, either release it, modify it, or come out of the stretch altogether. And if your body says it's okay, one more time on each side. It's a good thing to do any pose 2 or 3 times if you can. But again, be mindful. Here, if you haven't tried it, try straightening the leg as you pull it towards you, or keep it bent. See which feels better. And on any given day, it can feel different. So I just like to experiment oftentimes. And at your own pace, switching legs as you reach in and either pull straight leg toward you or bent leg toward you, feeling that nice stretch. The reason we do this stretch is so that we don't get a bout of sciatica, because that can be very painful. So if you ever have one, the stretch will help relieve it, but we do the stretch as a preventative measure. So now just coming into a very gentle bridge pose, I want you to think about lifting your hips and opening your chest. So you can put your hands under your buttocks and help lift it up off the mat, even if it comes up a half an inch. Go ahead, open your chest, lift your buttocks if you can. If you can't, don't worry about it. The most important part of this pose is to roll down vertebrae by vertebrae, very, very slowly coming down. What you're doing is you're creating space in your spinal column for fresh energy and oxygen to flow through. And we're going to do it one more time. So you can do it exactly the same way, putting your hands under your hips and lifting them up, or you can do the moving bridge. And what this does is as your hips come up, so do your hands, as if there's a thin, fine wire that's lifting your hands and your hips up at the same time. Hands come all the way over your head as the hips go a little bit higher if they can. And then just breathing into this when it feels like the boat has crossed under the bridge and you want to pull the drawbridge down, go ahead and very gently as the arms come back down, so does your back, rolling down one notch at a time, one vertebrae at a time until you're completely down. And then reversing that, hugging your knees. And we're going to come into our final spinal twist. So taking your bent knees all the way across the body, either to the right or left, and your head turns the opposite direction. Just breathing into this beautiful spinal twist. And shifting sides, taking both bent knees, cross the body to the other side, and head and neck turns the opposite direction. Breathing into the twist. And then releasing one leg, keeping one knee bent. Again, bent knee across the body, head and neck turning the opposite direction. Breathing into the twist. You'll notice by changing your leg position, you're twisting a little bit lower on your spinal column. And your spine is your superhighway. Everything connects to it. So that's why we do these, is to keep it flexible and to let fresh air and oxygen and blood into the spaces between the vertebrae. And for the last twist, straightening that leg, bending the other one, and coming across the body into the final twist. Just breathing in and breathing out. Congratulate yourself and say thank you. Your body's saying thank you. So appreciate the fact that you've taken time to do this beautiful moving practice. Your body will love you for it. And then straightening both legs, straightening both arms way over your head into this big, long stretch. So breathing in, stretching, 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 and then blow it out through your mouth. Relaxing. And another stretch, this time a tension stretch. So you're squeezing your fingers, squeezing your toes, squeezing your legs, your arms, even squinching your face up, squeezing, 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 and then holding that breath for a moment, and then a big blowout. And one last stretch, easy, gentle, or tension, up to you. Big, long stretch, easy or tight. Stretching, 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 and releasing. The very best part of any yoga practice is savasana or yogic rest. So what I want you to do now is take a moment and just feel your body melt into the mat. And you can stay right here as we'll have a little bit of music as you just stay in your resting pose. Resting pose is most important as it gives your body a chance to reassimilate and regroup and take all the energy that you built up and just save it. Now, if you want to get even more comfortable, you can put a pillow under your knees, under your head. You can cover up with a blanket, whatever it takes. I want you to commit yourself to the next 3 to 5 to 7 minutes of just absolute rest. If your mind starts to go to the to-do list, just come back to your breathing. Breathing in and breathing out. You can feel your belly rising and falling, just breathing in and breathing out. Feel your body relax even more, as if your legs can't budge and your arms can't budge. Breathing in, breathing out. Totally relaxed. Breathing in, breathing out. And slowly come back into the room, come back into consciousness. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. As you slowly moved from your savasana into seated pose, go ahead and rub your hands together, creating some warmth and energy, cupping your hands over your eyes, breathing in and breathing out in gratitude for the gift of sight, and rubbing them together again, cupping them over your ears in gratitude for the gift of sound and hearing, for laughter, for birds chirping, for the voices of loved ones, for music. We are so grateful for the gift of sound, and rubbing them together one last time as you come up across the bridge of your nose, spreading that third eye for more insight across the brow to the temple, to the upper jaw, just gently massaging to the mid jaw and the lower jaw, where oftentimes we store old stuck energy. Sometimes we say too much or not enough. And then coming down, smoothing the gland that often gets swollen if you have a sore throat. We don't want that. Just coming all the way down. And one more tap under the collarbone. And with that, we zip up and we put our heart-shaped bubble around us to protect us. So coming up through all your chakras, connecting, realigning, putting your heart-shaped bubble up and around. And one last time as we reach around the world with love and peace, and we give our final Om. Breathing in, Om. Namaste. Thank you for practicing. I hope you come back.